So I am at the mall, and I was just finishing watching the whole Star Wars thing. This is like my first YouTube video. I'm just wanting to say something because it's Star Wars and everybody likes Star Wars apparently. Yeah. My feelings about the movie. It's sad because it's Carrie Fisher's last performance as Princess Leia and stuff like that. But my thing is, I kind of actually regret Disney buying Star Wars. And from watching this movie, it felt like a big old filler to get to the next movie instead of anything different. Like, I don't know. It just was a little lackluster for me. I mean, trust me, I've seen all the Star Wars movie. I'm not the world's hugest fan of Star Wars, but I just felt bad because like all that continuity that they could have used, but then decided to erase it because Disney said, "Well, yeah, fuck it." So like 60 plus years of history down the drain because it's in the Legend series or whatever, and that could have been good history to work with to make what what was it? 7, 8, and 9, and 10 or 11, 12, or however many movies that George Lucas planned for the original one or whatever, stuff like that. But to this point, it got to the point where I'm kind of like sick of the whole Skywalker, evil, dark, nonsense Jedi thing because of the way they did it in the movie. You just be like, what's the whole point of this if you really weren't gonna do much with it or whatever? But yeah, that's just my opinion about the whole situation. Um, it just felt like a big old filler episode or something like that. Like it was supposed to be a movie, but it felt like a movie like really lackluster, kind of like Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 2, where it was just like it was a filler to get to the next chapter of a story. And I don't want to watch movies that's just like a big ass filler or whatever and stuff like that. And yeah, you gave Rey and Ben Solo, Kylo Ren, their little whole division nonsense crap conflict or whatever, but it was already terrible enough that he killed Han Solo. Then it just kind of brought the home fact of like, oh yeah, Carrie Fisher's dead too. So like the person who the one who actually want to do it is dead now, and now you have to kind of move on with the story or whatever without that character, and then you kind of kill Luke Skywalker too. Like, Jesus Christ. I mean, I feel like, why did they not use the other children that both Luke and Leia had and stuff like that? I mean, or at least I hope when they do the next movies that we introduce more into the Skywalker and Solo family dynamic or whatever, stuff like that, just because it's been so much a part of a Star Wars thing, and then for you to kind of get rid of it or whatever, it just kind of like feel a little lackluster or whatever. But yeah, and then the characters, I mean, like all the characters that I mean, I like the characters, but they were just not where they needed to be at. Like you had this whole thing with like Finn and Poe. Like everybody talked about how they had amazing chemistry in the last movie. So what do this movie? Barely have them in a scene together. And team them up with Jesus Christ, I forgot her darn name. I think Rose was her name or whatever. And it looked like they tried to force a romance between Rose and Finn at the last minute, but Finn's worried about Rey. So does it look like Rey might have some feelings or what? I mean, I'm just saying, like, for dynamic thing, I would have had more Finn and Poe and stuff like that. Don't get me wrong, BB-8 was freaking amazing, but yeah, like, what was that? And then they go to this planet to get the merchant, and the merchant betrays them, and it was just like, again, what was the whole point of it? And then you had that big ass warship, and they couldn't really do much or whatever. And it's just like, I don't know, like, how can the rebels defeat the old Republican, and then this new order come out of nowhere and just like overwhelms them? I just don't get it. Like, I understand the whole good and evil thing, but it just shouldn't even have happened. Even, yeah, they have comics and books that probably explains how the order got to it or whatever and something like that. It still shouldn't have been that great of a force to do. Like the last movie, it was literally episode 4 just refresh, repainted with new characters, pretty much, or something like that. And then, like, this is Princess Leia's final movie and stuff like that. And then you give me this half-ass crap with Luke and Leia, just like you did with Han Solo and Leia and stuff like that. Why? Like, these characters are old and stuff like that. They're fan favorites for a reason. Give them the time that they need, and then bring in a new generation. I'm not saying you can't bring in a new generation, but you have all of these characters, especially the old characters who we haven't seen on screen in what, 30, 40, 50 years or something like that. It just seems like it might be that long. I might be over exaggerating, but just to like half-ass it or whatever and stuff like that. And then I don't know. And then the whole, oh well, Rey parents were druggies who kind of sold her because she was a nobody and her parents are nobodies and stuff like that. I mean, to be honest, you had that stupid Star Wars Battlefront 2 thing with EA, which, flopped, which I already knew that was going to happen. I mean, it was predictable in the beginning anyway. But the fact of the matter is that, those two characters who betrayed the Empire and joined the Rebel Alliance, you should have used those characters and let them have been Rey's parents or whatever and stuff like that. Or give something. Give me something that ties in half of this stuff, because now it feels like the universe is more disconnected than it's ever been since Disney brought the bull crap, to be honest. And I mean, this is not me just like hating on the movie, because the movie was spectacular or whatever. And to be honest, I kind of wanted to see more Princess Leia and Luke Skywalker than anything else in the damn movie, because like I said, it was her last movie. I wanted to see more from her. I wanted her to, blast people up. I wanted her to do more than what she did in the movie and stuff like that. And the same with Luke or whatever and something like that. Like, and then you made him give up. Like, I don't get with these movies where they have a main character that's been in a movie for a long time, and then you come back to that character, and they have to go through this whole tragic event where they just give up on life or something like that. Like, change the premise of that. Like, that's boring and lame, to be honest. Like, he can suffer, but don't let him give up or whatever and stuff like that. Let him have something or whatever. Like, I wanted to see some kids or something like that, the next generation of Skywalkers or whatever, because like I said, when you look at the legend stuff, this Solo Skywalker legacy continues, and then it just seems like you guys just kind of gave up with that bull crap or whatever, stuff like that. Kylo Ren, which has been great conflict, but the boy's still born as a door brick and pretty much stupid. And don't even get me started with the whole Harrison Ford wanting to get his character killed off because he didn't really want to do it no more. But your ass will go and do Blade Runner 2049, which nobody really cares about. But you didn't want to do Star Wars. But okay, sure, whatever. But I'm just saying, the next movie, I need to see a little bit more or whatever and stuff like that. Now that all three of the original actors aren't reprising their role, or if Luke does as a Force ghost and stuff like that, I just need to see a little bit more. I wanted, like I said, I want Rey and Finn and Poe and BB-8 to be the new generation, but I still need to see like some legacy of the Skywalkers and Solos up in there, regardless of what's going on or whatever and stuff like that. But that's just how I felt about it, because I mean, the movie was interesting, had its funny moments or whatever and stuff like that, but like I said, it felt like a big old filler to get us to the third movie, and I don't want a sequel of a movie to just be a filler, because like I said, nobody has time for that. Nobody wants to sit there and stuff like that. But of course, people might be biased because of Star Wars, but let's just real talk about the bullshit that they was doing in that movie or whatever, and some of the plot holes that they had going on in there as well too, especially towards the end with Luke and stuff like that. I don't know. I just don't get it. I just, from a standard point, like if I can go back and rewind time before, Carrie Fisher died or whatever and stuff like that, I will rewrite the script and have a little bit more of her and Luke, because like you asked Rey to go and get Luke and stuff like that, and I was thinking like I know Luke might have been hesitating to come back, but he should have been there with his sister a little bit more, because it felt like the family just got disconnected over the years. Yes, he blames himself for Kylo Ren, but like, it should have been, they should have had more of children from Leia and Luke. I don't get it. Like, I wouldn't have just had one child and then Luke not having no children at all didn't make no damn sense. I mean, unless you guys, the next movie you guys might do it, but still, it just, I don't know. I mean, they should have just did something more with it. Like, what are we doing? What are we doing? But I mean, look, before anybody starts saying I'm hating or whatever, I didn't say I didn't like the movie. I didn't like the choices that they made, because like then you have Finn having this. I mean, you had Finn with Rose, and then you had Poe going against that Admiral lady with the purple hair and stuff like that. And I'm just like, really, this is what we doing with these characters? Like, come on, do something better than what you gave me from that second movie. That's all I'm saying. When the third movie come, it needs to just be something a little bit better than that. That's all I'm asking for. But yeah, if anybody want to tell me their thoughts or opinions or whatever, maybe I'm just criticizing the movie a little bit too hard or whatever and stuff like that, because I'm not really that big of a Star Wars fan. But I watched Star Wars or whatever. Like, last movie I was actually, true story, I was actually kidnapped and forced to go to the movie and stuff like that. I used to have a college mate, every time he wanted to go somewhere, come into my house and actually kidnap my black ass, throw me in the car and take me places and stuff like that. But I'm just saying. So when I watched The Force Awakens, I was just like, okay, so it's episode 4, beat from beat or whatever. And I know some people might say, oh, it was different a little bit. Not technically, not really at all. It literally was beat from beat, to be honest, and that's just real talk. The Last Jedi tried to do something different, which it succeeded in doing something different. But yeah, I just wanted the stakes to be a little bit more, or whatever, and stuff like that. Like I said, it's just the choices that Disney made for the whole Star Wars universe was just not a decision I would have made or whatever and stuff like that. I felt like by removing all that expanded universe, you stifled the creativity that you could have went with the story or whatever. But that's just my opinion. But if you guys have any opinions or whatever below, just let me know or whatever and stuff like that. It's just me, just throwing a YouTube video out there just for the hell of it. So yeah, bye.